Good afternoon. Today I would like to introduce you to George Patton. His quote, "You are not beaten until you admit it, hence don't." This quote reflects the effort that Patton put into anything he did. The importance of this quote shows how his efforts helped in the war effort and stayed with him throughout his life. In one word, I would describe Patton as heroic because of his effort and what he had done in war. He would always be with his men and would not sit in the back as other generals would. He would be with his men because he believed that in moments of crisis, a leader should be seen by his men. He was born on November 11th, 1885, and died December 21st, 1945, and lived in San Gabriel, California. He lived there until he was 19, where he attended West Point. He lived in New York and Massachusetts. An incident from Patton's childhood I found most interesting was that his father had read books to him at an age when most parents would usually stop. This would help him develop a love for reading later in his life. One of the challenges Patton faced was having dyslexia. He met this challenge when he was a young child in school. This is where his quote comes from, where he would write this in all of his notebooks to keep going. Another experience Patton had was being kicked out of West Point, but he had later returned to West Point later in his life. Patton's accomplishments were outstanding, most of them being war accomplishments. He had made history fighting in the U.S. Army. He had killed about 500,000 Nazi soldiers, and I was fascinated to learn that he had saved 1,250,000 people from concentration camps. This is more than 5 times the amount of people that he had in his army. The country is now different because Patton lived. He had changed the country and the world by defeating the Nazi regime using his intelligence in battle. The symbol I gave Patton was the tank because A, that's what he had generalized in the army, and B, he was tough and would not give up just like he would just like a tank. Patton is truly a man of honor and dedication who changed the world for the better. His impact had left a great mark on today's society.